Let's find out what all these fabric terms mean. Okay, in today's video I am going to go over some basic terminology in the quilting, slow stitching field. I'm Marcia. Welcome back to Markets of Sunshine. I am so happy that you're here with me today. So I have gone online and I went to Moda, MODA.com. That is a fabric manufacturer's website. And they happen to have the terminology of all of the quilting fabric terms. So this is a separate terminology that you will find for if you are a garment sewer, seamstress. So the quilting is its own little niche, seamstress is its category, and then slow stitching, embroidery, we are all in our own little categories. And so I'm going to go over and I'm going to show you sizes and how it's packaged, so when you purchase it online. So the first thing I want to show you is the, let me see, I think this one is, okay, the jelly roll. Okay, so now a jelly roll, I was getting it confused with another term, but I'm not going to say what that term was because then it will confuse you. Okay, so the jelly roll, think of the dessert and how does it look. So a jelly roll is circular, and then it has the layers of pastry and then the layers of preserves, you know, on each layer, and then it's another layer, and then you see the swirls of color. So that's where this got its name from. And a jelly roll are 2.5-inch strips. And I'm trying to see, let me see if I can read on my paper here. Okay, 40 strips. So there are 40 strips in a jelly roll, and they measure 2.5, and let me see if this one is true to what this measurement is telling me over here. Okay, so 2.5, 2.5 by 44-inch strips. And then there's a junior. So this is your normal size jelly roll of the 2.5-inch by 44-inch strips, and there are 40. And then there is a junior, a smaller, which contains 20 strips and same size, 2.5 by 44. So you can either purchase the 40 or you can purchase the 20. So this is the jelly roll. Now, why is this important to go over these terms for you if you're only going to be doing slow stitching and not quilting? Well, maybe down the road you want to branch out into quilting, because I am doing a whole series here on my channel for 2024, and I've done past videos over the past few years of doing little miniature quilts. So place mats are miniature quilts. It doesn't even matter if they're pieces of fabric cut and sewn together, one solid panel piece with a border and a binding, that is still considered a mini quilt. Just the process of putting those pieces of fabric together. So why I want to talk about this is when you are shopping for slow stitching kits, it is important to understand and to have a point of reference in your mind so that you know when you're looking at the description of the person's kit what size fabrics you're going to receive. Then that will give you an idea right away. Oh, like if you make quilts already and you really are familiar with the terms, I've been making quilts for over 30 years. I started when my daughter was born, and I did not delve into it on that kind of a level. That was not my intention. My intention was strictly to make baby quilts for her as she grew. Twin size was the biggest that I did. And like a lap size quilt, I did that size. And basically just cut up squares, 4-inch squares, sewed those together, put a binding on it. I did no sashing, I did no border. Simple, 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 because that's the way my mother did her quilts. She was extremely simple as well because she had 4 children. She wanted to get these quilts made, and she had a particular style and method that she would use. She used no batting, and she would put, because we live here in Florida, she only made them for the winter time, she would put flannel on the back, or corduroy. That was hers. So it was just the top layer, the corduroy or the flannel was plenty of cover to keep us warm here in Florida. Okay, so the jelly roll, so that's the first thing. So 2.5 inch by 44. Okay, remember that. And I am going to, let me see if I can find the link here. I don't know if I can find the exact link to this. But if I find this again, I'll post it in my community tab. It won't be in the description of this video, it'll be in the community tab. And you'll be able to get it. Because I think this is a essential chart that you would want to have with you. So whether you're shopping in person or online, keep this so that you have it as a reference when you're buying your slow stitching kit supplies. Okay, next I am going to jump to something that's more common in the slow stitching, crumbs. And when I did my last video, I talked about this, and the questions that was mentioned in there, I don't know if you found the question, because I did not itemize that video as much, and so it was just like you really had to pay attention as you were watching my video to find out what were those questions you need to ask yourself when you're organizing your stuff. Okay, and so then it was fabric. We were organizing fabric. Okay, it's crumbs. Now, Linda, who has a channel here on YouTube, Icky Chic, was kind enough to look that up and elaborate to me, because what each of us might consider a crumb in that terminology, or confetti, is subjectionable. I really do believe. So the definition online that was pretty well agreed upon from website to website, blog post to blog post, and manufacturer to manufacturer, was a crumb is not an exact size, shape. It's not a square, it's not a circle, it's not even a triangle. It is an oddly shaped piece. So this is a crumb. So I cut out a shape, and this was the leftover. This is a crumb. This is another crumb. It's an oddly shaped piece. It is not an exact rectangle, square, circle, triangle, hexagon. It could be a 1-inch hexagon, but that is not a crumb. Okay, so I want to just clear up the crumbs. Let's just brush away the crumbs. Okay, so now another one that is something that is important to know are your charms. These are 5-inch. So a charm is a square, whereas the jelly roll is a rectangle. I think I forgot to mention that. Okay, so here's just one little 5-inch. And now this is, let me see which company this is. Cloth Works. That's another brand. I think I probably got this off of Annie's Craft. And so these are maybe some manufacturers that are not as popular or something. Because, you know, Moda is something that I think once you're in the sewing, quilting, Moda is something, you know, you would know. Clothworks I've never heard of, but they have very nice fabrics. This was the Bloom Wildly by Heather Lee Chan. They're 5-inch squares and there's 42 pieces in here. I like the little charms because they just, I don't know, they're like fun. I don't know what it is, but they're just the charm. Maybe it's the name you give it. Okay, so that they gave it anyway. This is a little smaller than a 5-inch. These are 5-inch, but if you can see, it's just a little small. I trimmed it for some reason because I can see it. And charms are trimmed on the edges with a pinking shear. That's the little chevron zigzag. Okay, layer cake. Now a layer cake is a larger square that is a 10-inch. 10 by 10, that is the layer cake. And those have 42 pieces. And I was getting the layer cake and the jelly roll confused. Okay, both of them are a dessert? I don't know. Now we have a turnover. Do you notice this is all in the food dessert category? Does that mean that people who sew like to eat a lot of sweets? I don't know. If I could, I would. Believe me, I would. So a turnover. What shape is a turnover? A triangle. Okay, I do not have any turnovers or cut triangles. Those are 80 pieces, more generous, and they are a 6-inch triangle, and there's 2 of each front. So that is something else to keep in mind. Lots of times it will tell you when you're purchasing, like the jelly roll, for instance, and even the charm packs, they repeat the patterns. So let me see if I can see here. Usually it's 2. I believe it's 2. Let me count real quick. It's either 2 or 4 of the same. Let me see if I can see. Or 3. Maybe it's 3. I don't know. I think it's 4 if I'm not mistaken. So always read the fine print when you're purchasing so that you know it is only so many. It's not like you're going to get 40 different patterns. It is a repeating of so many patterns. Now, the honeycomb contains 40 layers, and those are 6-inch hexagons. So that's important to know that. So a honeycomb is a 6-inch hexagon, and those contain 40 pieces. A honey bun. Isn't that sweet? Who loves honey buns? Don't we love honey buns? I loved honey buns. Oh, okay. Those contain 40 strips. They look like the jelly roll, but they are smaller, and they are 1.5 inch by 44. Whereas the jelly roll, if you remember, what was the size I told you these were? 2.5 inch. Okay. Let me see. Anything else in the food category? Okay. Yes. A bake shop box. Now, I don't know if this is just on Moda's terminology or if this is across the board. I don't know, but this is really fun. So a bake shop box contains select Moda pre-cuts. So that could be that maybe it is just something with theirs. Now the mini charms are 2.5 by 2.5, where remember the charms are 5 inches, and those are squares again, so those are 42. So the quantity for a charm pack or the mini charms are the same. The same thing with the jelly roll, except that the size of the strips are the same, but the quantity is different, so there's a little bit of difference there. Okay, now let me see here. Okay. Frivels? Anybody, I have never heard anybody in the quilting, not even the people who are seasoned quilters, have I heard them ever say something about a frivels. So again, this could be just Moda's terminology. It is spelled Frivos, contains 42 7-inch squares, 7 by 7, in a collectible tin with goodies. Now, doesn't that make you want to go over to Moda's website and find out what is this collectible tin with goodies? Don't blame me. I'm not encouraging you to go shop. Okay, now, what else? Okay, the scrap bag. This was interesting. Okay, and you know, I am downsizing. I am curbing my spending. If you watch any of my lifestyle videos, my Sunday series, I've done a few, that we're getting out of debt this year. So I'm really going to be cutting back on my spending. And as you can see, yes, I guess, to be honest, truly, once you start crafting and sewing, it becomes an addiction. It's a fun addiction, but it can become a costly addiction. So that is where you have to really be careful. And I just want to throw that out there because, you know, be careful, keep that in mind. It's so much fun that you just want to keep buying more. And look at these names that they give it. They connect it to something that is a food. And what do? People binge eat, and people eat food for comfort. When they're depressed, when they're happy, we eat. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so at any rate, I know I'm what's the word? Getting off topic. I'm not really getting off topic, but anyway, I think that pertains to the whole thing. All right, scrap bag. We were on the scrap bag. That's what it was. Okay, contains 8 to 10 ounces of 36-inch long scraps from assorted collection. It looked like feet because I can't tell, is that one little, you know, what is that thing called? Let me look over here with the inches. Yeah, I think it is inches. Okay. Of 36-inch long scraps. Okay. So they're going to be 36, so they're going to be a yard. Why can't they just make it easy? Okay. So they're going to be 6 to 10 ounces, 8 to 10 ounces scraps that are 36 inches long. Okay, so they don't tell you the width. That's where it was confusing me. Okay, but it's just strips of fabric, so obviously, since they're a yard, so they're going to be the length of a yard. They don't tell you what is the width, so we have no idea. Is it 1.5, 2.5? Who knows? So that's a mystery. Should say mystery scrap bag. The bake shop is a mystery as well. Frivels, I don't know. I haven't been there to look. Now, let's get to some things that we are probably very common terminology. Fat quarters. So you go to Walmart. I mean, I don't know where else do you buy fabric these days besides Joann Fabrics, your fabric quilt shops, Missouri Star Quilt Company, which thanks to my friend Amy, she's the one that got me started on that addiction. I know. Annie's Crafts, I think I saw an ad on Instagram one day or something like that, and they were having some, you know, $5 for this and free shipping or something for a new customer, you know, all those kind of things that just get you in the door. Okay, so the size of a fat quarter, 18 inches by 22 inches. And those are a square. Is that a square? No, can't be a square. Rectangle, yeah, because squares are even. Okay, so, and then a fat eighth bundle. So a fat eighth bundle is 9 inches by 22 inches. One of each print. So, oh, but it doesn't tell you how many come in there. How many come in a, no, those are, well, they can have, yeah, so this does have a bundle. So let me give an example. When I purchased the 1830, 1850 reproduction fabrics from Missouri Star Quill Company, that was fat quarter bundles, gorgeous, and I believe, from my recollection, there were 10 prints. But don't quote me on that. And then I don't remember 40. Do you remember me counting? I think there were 40. I believe there were 40. And I don't remember if there were 4 of each one. No, they were different. Weren't they different? Yes, I think they were all different, but there were 40 of them. That was what it was. Okay. So the fat quarters generally are all different. Okay. So now that's pretty much it. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12. So that was 12 different quilting fabric size terms for you to now become familiar with. And the confetti was the only thing that was not here on this list, or the crumbs. So it's not even worth their time because they're not exact. Confetti can be any size, any scrap you wanted to cut it down to. So I could take this and I could cut a little section off of here, and then that little teeny tiny section could be considered a confetti. And then I could just get my pinking shears and do little, shapes, whatever I want. I could make them squares, I could make them triangles, I could just make them any shape that I wanted to, just random, nothing in particular. So, but remember, they're just oddly shaped, 1 to 3 inches, not a circle, not a square. Okay, I think we've got that pretty well covered. Now, this, what I have on my table, is actual yardage and the selvage edge. Now, pretty much only if you're going to be doing quilting is that going to be something that you're going to want to pay attention to. All right, so the selvage edge is the edge with the printed manufacturer information. That's the selvage edge. And the bias is at an angle from the corner this way. So when they make bias tape, it is cut this way because that's the easiest, most stretchy part of the fabric. And then your fold is obviously where the fold is of that fabric that came off the bolt. So they fold it in half. Generally, it can be 22, 23 inches, so folded is 44, 45, and it's always a yard, so 36. So when you purchase it, it's folded in half. And so this is a doggy print that I have, and I'm going to list this in my shop. I'm going to be putting yardage back at my shop. And this is vintage. I had it in cats and then in dogs. I can't remember if I had sold out of the cats. I will look that up. I may only have it in the dogs, and that's 1 yard. That's all I have left of it. I am not going to cut that down into fat quarters or anything else. Only the yardage. And here's another one. But if you have stayed here with me to the end, which is something, so pay attention to this because this is something that I'm going to start doing. And so for my loyal watchers, subscribers, supporters of my channel, because I have really thought about this for quite a while. And with my health and my situation and everything that's happened to me, with my health in the last 20 years, I am really wanting to get back to living my life, enjoying my life. I love my Etsy shop. I love my Etsy business. I love my customers dearly. I will keep that. But I really want to concentrate and spend more time on the YouTube. And yes, I could just take all of this vintage fabric that I have that is not cotton, it's not 100% cotton, and I would have to look on the selvage edge to see, does it tell me what the blend is? These are vintage, so I don't even know if there are probably none of them in circulation anymore, which usually they always manufacture so many and then that's it, it's gone. So it's some kind of a polyester blend. These were gifted to me years ago by my mother's neighbor. And so what I'm going to start doing, I have a listing in my shop, but what I want to start doing to show my appreciation for my viewers, and the only thing that I'm asking, because wherever this is going to ship to or go to is going to have to be that the fabrics that I'm going to offer are going to be in the giveaway, but I cannot afford the shipping for everybody. So what I want to do is that all you have to do is pay the shipping. So what I will do is, if you're interested, so this is how it's going to work. There is a listing in my shop now, and I offer 12 by 12, so it's not a fat quarter size, but it's a decent, nice size, squares of these vintage fabrics, and I do have some of them that are cotton. And there's lace, and those are certain, I think 12 inches. Okay. I don't remember what the price is, but all of this selection that's out there in my garage, and it's just too much. It's too overwhelming, it's too much. I don't want to just take it to, Goodwill or anybody else like that. I would like to share it with you, my community. So instead of it just being a giveaway where so many, 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, whoever's interested, whoever wants to receive this fabric and pay the shipping to wherever you live. So you could live in Hungary, you could live in Australia, you're going to be responsible for the shipping. And what I'm going to do is put the listing, so if you say in the comments, you have to tell me in the comments, yes, Marcia, I am interested. And I am going to put I have them in every color. So let me sit here and think about this for a minute. Okay, so I will put a variety of colors. So they're not going to just be the blues or the greens or the reds or the oranges. It's going to be a rainbow of colors, the variety, the spectrum. And I will have them by sets of 12 or 24 pieces. And I will have them cut in the fat quarter. So it will be 18 by 22, so they'll be fat quarter sizes, and they will be 12 pieces. What did I say? 12 or 24. If you say yes, you would like to have one of these, that you'll just pay the shipping. Now, the only other thing is I do have to list it for $1 because Etsy will not let you list it without covering my listing fee. I do have to pay a listing fee, and I have to pay a fee to Etsy once it's sold. So I don't just make profit right across the board. So that has to come out of that $1. So by the time it's all said and done, it's like, I don't even know what I wind up getting, 50 cents or something like that, because Etsy gets their portion with the listing fee and then the percentage of the sale. Anyway, but you pay the shipping. So I will weigh it, because I don't know how much what they're going to weigh. It's not going to be a whole lot, maybe like with the envelope and the fabrics, I'm thinking maybe 7 ounces. It could be, depending on the weight, because it depends on the weight of the fabric. So some of these could be really, really, thinner. Some could be a little bit thicker. I mean, there's like all kinds of types. It's just all kinds of types. Flannels, you name it, some really thick stuff. You could possibly, those would be nice in a slow stitching project, but these would be nice in any kind of project. So they could be perfect in snippet rolls, whatever you want to use it for. I'm just putting this out there. So I'm not going to have a picture. It will be in the Etsy listing. But if you go to that listing now in my Etsy shop, you'll be able to get an idea, because I can't even remember now right off the top of my head if I even have a picture of any of it. I think there might be one there to give you an idea, because these are not what's in my kits. These are completely separate fabrics. And so I will be offering this in these kinds of videos at the ends of the video. So if you're interested, some days I might throw it in the middle, so you have to watch the video to find out where it is. And as I go along, whatever other little tidbits that I might find that I will, offer as I'm cleaning up my craft room. And if you're interested, then your name, this is how we're going to do this, your name is going to be in the drop-down menu. So it will say, exclusive YouTube, or let me see, how could I word this? Okay, exclusive fabric bundle reserved for Sunshine Maker Club members. So that means you have to subscribe to my channel. You have to be a member of my Sunshine Makers Club, which that link is always in my description. It'll be in the description below. And then that way you will be one of the VIP perks. So this is one of the perks. You will be entitled to be able to receive these. So subscribe to my channel and to my Sunshine Makers Club, and then your name when you comment below in the comments on this video, and you say, yes, Marcia, I would like to have one of those. Put your first name and the first letter of your last name. So if it's Linda C, that's it. If it's Mary J, for whatever your last name is, I'm just throwing these out there. Candy B, whatever, you know what I'm saying. So then that way, and I have never had an issue with this. So when I have a reserve listing for somebody, I've never had people come around and buy it and then it's not for the intended person. So, and then, this is how I'm going to, make sure, doubly sure, in the comments, when you make the purchase, then put in the little note to seller box that, Marcia, I saw this from your YouTube video. And I am a subscriber, and I am a member of the Sunshine Makers Club. And then that way I can verify your email address to my subscriber list and your name, and then that way nobody else gets it except you, who are the person that this is intended for and entitled to. So this is my thank you. So this is how I'm going to downsize my products and I don't want to go through putting it on the Facebook Marketplace. I will mention this in my Facebook group, Slow Stitching Sampler Series. I will mention it in my next newsletter that I send out for my Sunshine Makers Club. And I'll link this video in there, and I know this is probably going on and on and on because I just need it, this needs to be explained. It just needs to be explained. Because it's not just like, oh, this just is a giveaway for 1 or 2 people. Comment, you know, subscribe, like the video, and be a member of my Sunshine Makers Club, and then I'll draw 3 names. You know what I'm saying? I want the people who actually want it to comment so that you're the ones who get this. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope this helped you. If you would like me to get the link and send this to you, then comment below, and then send me, how can we do this? How can I send it to you? I'll try to look it up and put it in the, community tab. That's what it was. Okay, so stay safe, keep creating in the sunshine, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here and watching my video to the end.